Okay, so let's start making a platformer in Scratch. I've taken a lot of inspiration from Griffpatch to create this platformer and have added my own comments so that it's easier for kids to understand how to create a platformer very easily. Let's look at the sprites. So we have a player and we have platform which looks something like this. Then in the ground sprite, okay, so the costumes of the ground sprite, if we go, made 3 costumes for the ground sprite which looks something like this. Then you have a next level where this green flag is what you have to click to go to the next level, and then we have an end game where this should be in your last level, and then if you touch this your game should get over. So now let's go back and start looking at our code. So I'm going to write the code in player. So click on player and start from here. So I'm going to say when green flag is clicked, I'm going to give a broadcast message. I'm going to start every event in this with a broadcast message. Okay, so I'm just going to say new message. I'm going to say start game. If I start too many events with when green flag clicked, my game is going to have problems. That's the reason I'm starting with a broadcast message called start game. Every other event will start only with start game in this program. So when I receive start game, okay, I'm going to switch backdrop to go to looks, okay, switch backdrop to gameplay. Okay, so if you see in the game there are 2 backdrops. Let me show you. So the backdrops, you have gameplay backdrop and game over, 2 backdrops. Okay, so I'm going to use the gameplay backdrop right up front. Then I'm going to create a variable. I'm going to call it level, and this variable will be for all sprites. Okay, and click OK. Now I'm going to set level to 0, and then I'm going to set the starting position. So I'm going to bring him somewhere here. Every level this is going to be the starting position. Okay, so let's just put this. So put it here and then put motion, go to. Okay, so now you see here it's minus 217. Just to round it off, I'll say minus 220, and this one is 104, which is okay. Okay, so minus 220, 104. Now I'm going to keep on making this fall down. Okay, it has to keep on falling. So I'm going to put a forever block here. Okay, and then I'm going to say change y by particular number. So I go and tell here change y by minus 2. Okay, so now you see this is going to fall. It's going to fall at a constant rate throughout, and it's not going to stop when the platform is there. So even if I'm going to make this instead of minus 2, I want to go faster, so I make it minus 12 or 21. So now you see it's falling faster, but from top to bottom the falling speed is the same, which is not what is there in reality. In reality, the more distance you fall, the faster your speed is going to be. So we are going to bring that here. So what I'm going to do is, let me just let this be. Now I'm going to create a new variable. I'm going to call it, this will be for this sprite only. Okay, so let's click this one and call it y velocity. Y velocity. Okay, now this y velocity variable, I'm going to use it to, first of all let me set the value. So I'm going to say set y velocity to 0. I'm going to put it after the go to. Then I have to keep on changing the velocity. So I put here change, be very careful in selecting the variable, select y velocity by minus 1. Okay, and then you are changing this y by y velocity. Now what this is going to do, you see this, as it goes down it falls faster and faster. Got it? So that's what this does, velocity does to it. Now I'm going to write another piece of code inside this forever, which is controls. Okay, repeat until Okay, what am I repeating? Something not touching the ground. So go to operators. I'm going to say not. Okay, I'm going to say touching ground. Sensing not touching ground. It's the same as if touching ground. Okay, so I'm just saying it's just a play of words. So it's the same as if touching ground. Repeat until not touching ground. Set y velocity to 0, because if it touches the ground, I want the y velocity to become 0 and this to stop. So I'm going to say set y velocity to 0, and let's see now what happens. See this? It goes, but goes a little inside the ground. It's not having it go inside the ground, so I'm going to put this. I'm going to say change y by 1. So go to motion and bring this block here. Change y by 1. Okay, now what this will do is, now you see this. Okay, you see this? Click green flag. It goes out, goes down and comes on top. Okay, now this one we need to avoid. Okay, we can't have this happening because this is something called ground lift delay. There is a delay when it hits the ground and then comes up on top. We need to remove this ground lift delay. Okay, so we are now going to the step 2 of the platformer. Actually, I missed to show you this in the beginning. So platformer basically has many steps. See this? Many steps. So we start with gravity and falling moment, then we remove the ground lift delay, then we add movement to the player, then we make the player to handle steep slopes, then jump, the player has to jump, then there's something called ceiling detection, and then there's a whole bunch of other codes for the rest of the sprites. Okay, so till this first to 7 is all player controls, how to control your player. So today we are going to, in this video, we're just going to see the first 3, gravity and falling moment, remove the ground lift delay and add movement to player. So let me just continue here. We are now coming to the second step, which is to remove this delay in the ground lift which was happening. So for this, what I'm going to do is this whole thing, I'm going to put it in a separate block. Okay, so how do I do that? I go to my blocks, I'm going to make a block, and in the make a block, I'm going to call it handle ground. Handle ground. Okay, I'm going to click this button here, run without screen refresh. This is very important. Okay, so what this does is, so I'm going to put handle ground, and then I'm going to bring this code, repeat until not touching ground, and put it under handle ground. Okay, because this is running without screen refresh, you will not see that bounce. Okay, not only this, and then what I need to do is, I've created the define block but I haven't used it, so I just need to put the handle ground under here. Okay, now let's check. See here, comes and it stands and you don't see the ground lift delay, there's no bounce. This is because this entire piece of code under this handle ground is going to run without refreshing your screen. Got it? So run without screen refresh does this. Okay, so now we've finished the ground lift delay. Now we are going to add movements to the player. Okay, this is the last part of this video, and adding player movements is very easy. So I'm just going to go to when I receive start game forever, controls forever, 2 if thens, and space if left arrow key is pressed and right arrow key is pressed. So if first let's put right arrow and then put here left arrow, and then I just need to point in direction because it's movement. I put point in direction 90 and point in direction minus 90. Okay, and below this I have to change the X. Okay, be careful, it's changing the X because left and right means moving horizontally. So change X by 6, and here I'm going to change X by minus 6. Okay, so this is the one where we have player controls. So now what should be your game like? Your player should be able to move left and right. The thing is, he's still climbing steep slopes, which we want to avoid. Okay, this is where you should be at the end of this video. Thank you. Wait for my next video on the next 3 steps.